Hey, everybody, it's Linda Laurel, and this is Our Voices Matter podcast. I was on vacation recently with a group of friends, and I have to say, without a doubt, that the very best memories were created when we gathered around the table. We talked and we ate, and then we talked and we ate, and then we talked some more and we ate some more, and well, you get the picture, right? And then when we looked up, it was literally 6 hours later. There is definitely something magical about sharing food and conversation around a table, and nobody understands that better than this week's guest, the founder of Neighbors Table. I first met and interviewed Sarah Harmeyer in the fall of 2019 after seeing her on the Today Show. She was so gracious when I reached out, and before I knew it, she and I were sitting around a table in Richardson, Texas, just outside of Dallas, and we were talking about her life's mission as a people gatherer. So I reached out again, and here we are, ready to share an update brimming with love and hope. So join us. We saved a seat for you. Sarah, it is so great to see you again. I cannot believe that it's been 3 years since we first met and did our interview. How are you?
I'm doing well. And what a 3 years we have survived.
I have to tell you, and I don't know if I shared this when I reached out to do this follow-up interview. The reason that I reached out is because I was on vacation recently with some friends.
Okay.
And some new friends, some old friends. And we bonded sitting around a table, very much like a neighbor's table.
Yep.
And I mean, we literally looked up and it was 6 hours after we had sat down to start talking.
That is
It was
awesome.
magical. And then one of my friends had seen the original episode when I interviewed you, and she started telling everybody about it. And she's like, Linda, you need to play that episode for all of us. And I did. And we sat there together, all 10 of us in a room, and watched the original interview. And it was while we were watching, and I thought, oh, I got to call Sarah and do a follow-up. You know, I need to know what's going on, because it was so full circle, and it was just such a beautiful moment. And it was something that I got to experience sitting around our own brand of Neighbors Table. And it was just precious. Just give us a little snapshot of what Neighbors Table is. And then I've got to ask you about all the updates between then and now.
Started with a table my dad built me for my own backyard here in Dallas, Texas. And this was 2012, so 10 years ago. And I set a goal to serve 500 people in my backyard that year, just a stretch goal, a number I wanted to reach. And over time and dinner party after dinner party, that 500th guest walked down my driveway on Thanksgiving Day in 2012. That's really where my passion started for seeing people connect at the table. And it started out as just kind of a personal mission, living into the way that I'm made as a people gatherer. That's what I like to say I am. And from there, we started building tables for other people, because I realized there's other people gatherers in the world. And what if they needed a home base like I did, a significant, beautiful table, and they too could put it in their backyard or in their home, and that be their space that they gathered their people around.
Well, you know, you say you never thought you'd be in the table business. I would argue that you're really in the people business.
You're right. But there's something that happens, and I'll use your word, the magic that happens around the table is when we actually pause and we're sitting elbow to elbow and we're sharing a meal, something we do all the time. But there's something significant in the way that we do a neighbor's table, in that we create a place where people are respected. We create a space where they're celebrated. I want people to feel like they're in this world together. So a lot of times people will really enjoy their experience at the table. And I know it's because they've actually listened. They've actually slowed down a little. They've actually had a real dialogue instead of behind a screen. It's all these things that aren't new. They actually kind of feel old-fashioned, but we're kind of taking a step back and going back to the things that our grandmothers and our grandfathers used to do around their tables. Maybe some of us, our parents did that. We've lost ourselves a little in the busy. And I've been inspired by people that have our tables across the country and how they're doing that. And everyone does it different in their own personalities and in their own communities. And it's so cool.
Say that must make you feel so good when you think about what your original mission was, and to see how, it's that pebble in the pond that, just takes that one person, and then all of a sudden it just blossoms.
Yep. And it's really beautiful to see how simple just getting around a table is. And I keep learning that from people that I deliver these tables to. So it's extraordinary, and it's also ordinary at the same time,
Oh, it's so simple in its beauty and in its power.
A joy to get to share this story again with maybe a new set of people. But I hope it inspires by just hearing the ordinariness of being around a table with each other, and maybe they too would do that with their own family or the people just to the left and right of them in their neighborhood.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for giving Sarah permission to speak and for having the courage to listen with an open mind. You can go to the show notes and get links to everything that she's doing, and perhaps buy your own neighbor's table. Thanks again, everybody. You know what to do, by the way. Like, share, subscribe, spread the word, and then join us again. We'll see you next time on our Voices Matter podcast.